Today we are going to be diving into Vice City and beyond, combing through hundreds of tiny details to take a closer look at the GTA 6 map than we ever have before. I'm very excited for this, and let's go ahead and hop in. So we're going to be starting off with Vice City. Of course, this is the main area. This is what everyone's here for. Everything in excess. We're a long way from the 80s, but Vice City is still the sun and fun capital of America. The glamour, hustle, and greed of America is captured in a single city. Each neighborhood has something to offer, from the pastel Art Deco hotels and bright white sands of Ocean Beach to the bustling, you're going to have to forgive me for this, I've got 5 years of high school Spanish under my belt. That was 15 years ago. Panaderias, which is kind of like a bakery, of Little Cuba, and the bootleg brands of the Tishawaka Flea Market out to the Vice City port, which is the cruise ship capital of the world. So first up, we've got our Vice City sign here. This was actually seen in the first trailer that they released, and it's just outside of the international airport. Obviously, we've got an airplane flying in right here. Now, in Miami, there's no like big block white lettered sign like this, so this is kind of a made-up landmark here, and obviously kind of an ode to the Vinewood or the Hollywood sign over in Los Santos. Honestly, not a lot to take from this apart from the plane. Dude, look at all the individual instruments and little tubes and things and little fins and landing gear and everything else. Like, this is a very, very realistic underbelly of a plane, and we did not see that realism in GTA 5. Next up, we've got a shot from a hotel balcony looking over South Beach. And this is a very interesting part of town. You never know what sort of species and things you're going to find here. We've got ourselves a local cougar and her young gazelle. So honestly, the skin here just looks so good. We talked about this in the character video. Look at all of these wrinkles, all the like potch marks, liver marks, etc. Just next level skin detail here. I also genuinely can't believe the level of foliage that we have happening. You can see this little wooden resort path leading to the sand going out to the beach, but just look at how dense these trees are. You've got all the paths kind of leading through them. Like that, think about walking through that and just having this giant jungle canopy over you like that. That is so insane. We've even got trees that are dropping leaves onto the top of the cabanas down here. So from a foliage standpoint, easily one of the best looking games we have ever seen. She's got a cup of tea. We've got a golden rubber duck down here by the pool. Another thing that, you know, I've mentioned this before, but this game just feels so dense, so lived in, not only from the trees perspective, but just look at everything we've got going on out here with all the beach chairs and everything. You've got boats going by. You've got people lounging on the little day beds. You've got people on the actual pool chairs down here, people walking around, people in the pool. You've got a guy riding a bike over on the right side over here. You've got pool floats. You've got all sorts of activities and things going on. It's not just, you know, a beautiful space. It's a space that's being used. There's a lot of activity happening. There's a lot of lives being lived outside of what you're currently experiencing. Case in point right here. I think this might be my favorite piece of content that we have seen so far. This is absolutely incredible. It really showcases how big the map is, how dense the map is, how many things are happening all at once. This is truly just a giant playground. Like, we are literally in Miami here. So the first thing I want to point out is kind of boring, but just look at all the vehicles. Look at the traffic. Look at how everything has vehicles all over the place. Think about Los Santos. Like, we had vehicles, we had pedestrians walking around, things like that, but it feels empty compared to what this is. These are the Venetian Isles over here. We've seen some clips of those in the trailers, and it's some of the most expensive real estate in the world. We've even got private yachts over here off of the houses and things. Like, think about GTA 5. You never really saw activity in the water. Occasionally, some groups of sea sharks going by, or maybe in online, you'd see somebody's yacht off in the distance, but like, everything is lived in and being used. You've got all of these different rooftop pools and things happening. Almost every rooftop has something going on. There's like some sort of a lounge or something up here. Look at this thing off in the distance, live garden walls and stuff. Like, it's just, there's just so much happening. Now, some of the major highlights of this image are down here in the bottom left. So I believe this is Jason, and I think this is Cal here. They're shooting some hoops. We've got somebody else that's kind of getting warmed up. Look at all the like leaves and things all over the place. We've got some water or Gatorade bottles over here. We've got another couple that's taking a break after it looks like might be playing tennis. So this is going to be some sort of a sports court over here. So hopefully we're going to be able to play some tennis, play some basketball, etc. We've already seen mini golf. And down here in the bottom right, we've got the end of a police chase. So it looks like the suspects were in this red vehicle. The driver got out, got on his knees, put his hands up. Looks like the passenger passenger might be making a run for it. So good luck to him. But yeah, we've got multiple cops out here, all guns drawn, running at him. Looks like this guy might have a shotgun. A couple of different police vehicles, which looks like they're unmarked. Maybe it's just from the angle in the sunlight here. I'm really hoping we get random events in the game like this. Like, you know, obviously in GTA 5, we would have some events, but oftentimes it was just kind of a police shoot first situation. So if we can have people that are actually giving themselves up and see arrests being made and just random things happening within the city, again, you know, besides just the traffic, it's just going to feel that much more real. The other thing is like, look at this. Is she standing up from her hot tub to look over at this activity? Are the people on this bus all standing up and looking back? It kind of looks like it. That's incredible if the NPCs are going to be interacting with each other like that. Also, another thing I want to point out is down here, it looks like this is a bike rental station. You can see a couple of empty stalls, and then here's a bike available for rent. So hopefully this is another type of vehicle that we can use. These two gentlemen we've seen before. They were actually in the first trailer. You can tell because he's got the same chains on, but this is a great image. I'm really hoping this is a little sneak peek into some of the character customization. So, you know, everything from clothing, you know, we've got tank tops, hats, bandanas tied around our neck, shirtless. We've got tattoos here. We've got all sorts of accessories from glasses to chains to, you can see this little rope bracelet thing here. He's got his Prezi day date on. He's got his grill in. You've got like actual scar ring and things. I mean, the hairstyles are so different. Look at these little moles here. I doubt you're going to be able to place moles. Maybe you can, who knows? But this just shows how real this game looks. And there's a lot of diversity, a lot of different skin tones, a lot of different body types. Here we are on South Beach, and I can only imagine taking a supercar at 200 miles an hour through here. Like this, it's gonna be gnarly. But yeah, so we've got tons of people in this image. We can just kind of go left to right. So first up, we've got this couple over here. Looks like we've got multiple different people on different styles of bikes back in the background. We've got this guy with his metal detector, which could potentially be an activity for us. Look at his sunburn. Look at how you can see like he's sunburned up on the shoulders and out here on his outer arms, but then he must have had some sort of a shirt or a tank top on because his midsection isn't too bad. He's even got some really rosy cheeks here that have been protected by the sunglasses there. So the fact that we can get sunburned NPCs and maybe sunburn our character, honestly, is really, really impressive. We've got a lifeguard station up here, some pigeons up there, an actual interior. The lifeguard, this guy, and this guy are all looking at one specific thing down here in the bottom left part of the image. And man, if we're talking about realism, girl's got some sandy cheeks. That thing is looking nice. Also, topless tanning confirmed. I want to know what happens if I'm walking up and I interrupt her and I like, you know, walk over her or whatever. You know how NPCs usually like get up and freak out or whatever. What happens here? Does she put her top back on? It's going to be interesting to find out. Bro is ripped. Old people look fantastic in this game. Honestly, it might be one of the things I'm most impressed by, the way that they have just created all this like old skin and added age to people. Again, totally different body types all over the place here. Look at her foot. She's kicking up sand. There's sand stuck on her feet and sandals. Like, look at this. You've got sand all over this guy's sandals. That's one of the worst feelings in the world. I hate that. But it's just the level of detail is absolutely insane. And then the other big thing here is football. We've got guys tossing a football around. So maybe we can play catch. Now, if we take a few steps off the beach, we're going to find ourselves on Ocean Drive at night this time, and there's a lot happening here. So, you know, we've got women on top of police cars spreading cheeks. He's getting a great view right there. Not really trying too hard to get her off the car. He's saying, hey, ma'am, get down, but, you know, you can take your time. We've got girls getting arrested. She is focused on social media here, so I think that's going to be a big, you know, focus, influencers and things like that. Lots of jest happening there. We've got another girl being arrested, but she's posing for the picture there. So you got to make sure the camera eats first. The police car looks absolutely insane here. I mean, just look at the detail. Look at all the condensation, or is that like dirt? Maybe it rained recently and you've got like the streaks on the car and stuff. Look at his outfit. I mean, we've got watches, we've got rings, we've got badges, we've got handcuffs, full Batman utility belts and stuff, the veins in the arms and everything. Like, he looks insane. Vice City taxi van off on the side over here. And again, all of the nighttime shots, especially here on Ocean Drive with all the neon and everything, just look so good. I take it back. This is the most impressive screenshot that I have seen ever in this game from any game. This is peak technology. This is what we've been working towards. This is where our ancestors wanted us to end up. There's lots of sweat on lots of different body parts. I can smell this image. Look at the fingerprints on the pole here. Look at this, dude. Like, are you serious? That's the level of detail that we're getting to in this game. Also, can't take credit for this. Want to find out who it is. CPH 2001 on Reddit. I'm not sure if he was the first to find it, but he had a very popular Reddit post. The presidents on the money actually match the presidents from Red Dead Redemption 2. That is one of the coolest crossover tiebacks I think I have ever seen from a studio. I just love the cityscapes, dude, and at night it looks so good. Again, tying back to that other one, look at the density, look at the traffic, look at all the things happening. Like, this city just feels real. It feels alive. Got quite a few buildings in this shot. We've got the Sumerian, the concert hall. This is going to be the Vice City Arts Center. And I mean, look at these. It looks like these could be enterable areas. This one's a little questionable, but this one for sure, it looks like we've got lights and things happening inside. So these are probably going to be enterable buildings. We've got what looks to be some sort of a train station or something down here. The big one is right here. So this is the Sahara Arena, aka the Casilla Center. This is where the Miami Heat play, but here in Vice City, they are the Narcos. That's the basketball team. Obviously, we've got a football team as well. You actually saw Draquan wearing the Manatees jersey and the Narcos hat in the second trailer. So very excited for that. Hoping we can go in to the basketball court and stuff. Should be really cool. Now, behind that, we've got a Ferris wheel, and behind the Ferris wheel, we've got a cruise ship. So this really excites me, man. Like, you guys know, I love cruising. It is so much fun. And Miami is the cruising capital of the world. Like, the number of ships that come in and out of that port each and every single day is incredible. And just sitting watching them is so cool. I'm so jealous of the people that live along that port because they just get to see these behemoths go back and forth every day. It's so entertaining. But yeah, we've got cruise ships in the game. Are they going to be enterable? That would be insane. I feel like that could be a map within itself, but very, very cool. I'm hoping we see a lot of activity of things going in and out. And dude, I'm going to be honest. You guys know we work with Royal Caribbean when we vlog and stuff. I have been telling them, like, please, if there's any way, let's get like Icon of the Seas in the game. Like, I don't care what it costs. I don't even know what it would cost for some sort of a sponsorship like that. But dude, can you imagine if there was a Royal Caribbean ship in GTA 6? That would be insane, but I don't think they're going to bite on that. Back behind that, you can see the actual port with all the containers and things. So that's going to be fun. That, you know, I always enjoyed going over there in GTA 5, and maybe we can get some cool races and drifting missions and things like that. And again, you know, we've got all sorts of boats in the harbor. Even though it's at night and you're not going to have as much activity happening, there's always boats. There's always helicopters. There's always, you know, traffic across every bridge. There's always something going on in this game. And our final image of Vice City is a neighborhood underneath an overpass called La Pearl. So you can see P-E-R-L-E down there. This is kind of a mix, I think, between like Wynwood and Little Haiti. So we've got a lot happening here, you know, street takeovers with all the different off-road vehicles and bikes and quads and things like that. Looks like we've got a homeless guy down here. We've seen so many animals in this game. I just really hope you could pet the dogs. That's all I really care about. We've got all sorts of different vehicles, bikes, bravados, donks here, Gloriana license plate. We saw that in the character screenshot as well. So we're definitely going to have some Georgia references in here. But yeah, beautiful shot, totally different neighborhood. Completely removed from the glitz and glamour of South Beach and Ocean Drive. So excited to explore the underbelly as well. Now, if we head south from Vice City, we're going to make our way into the Leonida Keys, the gateway to paradise. Dress code is casual. The bars are loaded. I love the Keys, man. So life in this tropical archipelago isn't flashy, but it's easy. Get your buzz on, pull up a deck chair, but look out. You are right on the doorstep of some of the most beautiful and dangerous waters of America. The Keys are beautiful. They can also be pretty trashy, and they can absolutely be dangerous. This image shows how big this map is. This is absolutely insane. So we were just here. That's going to be Vice City and you know, Ocean Drive and things like that. So look at how far you have to travel to get to this point. Like, that is absolutely insane. And I think we're only looking at like, a quarter, maybe half the map. So you can see, Vice City in the downtown area here. I think this is going to be kind of like our swamplands, which we're going to get into in a minute. You've got these giant causeways. Looks like this might be an old railroad track that's broken down here. I know that's a real thing in the Keys. And of course, I'm sure there's going to be stunt jumps and all kinds of things happening there. We've got float planes that might be taking some, less than legal goods around. I mean, look at this here. So you've got like this little stagnant pond here, and then these little deltas that are moving out with the tide. Like that is just insane. We've got people hanging out on the beach, maybe campfires and things like that. People fishing, people on jet skis, Coast Guard boats, it looks like, container ships going by. You can see all the little buoys and stuff marking all the channels to be able to get in to the city. Like the level of detail here is insane. Now, if we look out way in the distance, I kind of think this looks like an airport. Does that not look like a control tower or something? I could be wrong. Obviously, this is a water tower over here, but this guy right here looks like a control tower. This image is very Keys. We've got some juxtaposition between the tourists and the real life here. So here we've got a tour bus, which, by the way, just look at the way the mud is caked on the bumper and stuff there. That's beautiful. But we've got groups of tourists all interacting with each other. Looks like this is going to be some sort of a gift shop with little kitschy decorations and wind chimes and flamingos and things like that. And then we've got the real side of the Keys over here. So you better be able to take this from her. I will riot if we can't roll around in ECVs and these mobility scooters doing drive-bys and stuff with the boys. Can you imagine squatting up with like 4 or 6 guys rolling down the street on ECVs, just taking people out like that? That is ridiculous. We've got an iguana down here. We've seen these guys all over the trailer and all over other sorts of screenshots. Looks like this is going to be some sort of a local attraction, the Wonder Whale. And we've got people climbing up on top of it and taking pictures with it. A little bit disrespectful, but I guess it is what it is. Chip's Body Shop, Senior and something interesting. Okay, maybe that's going to be an area that we can go to. We've got a boat advertisement up there. And then this right here, I think, is one of the things that I love most about this image. Look at the guy's flip-flops. I remember when this image first dropped, I saw some posts of people talking about like, what, you've got the flip-flop that's kind of phasing through the bike pedal there. That's not good to have in your promotional image, Rockstar, but that's intentional. Have you ever ridden a bike in flip-flops? 100% if you have, you've done this. It's not comfortable. It doesn't feel good, but you've 100% tried this. So that level of detail is insane. Also, another nice dog. I'd like to pet him. I said earlier, I love the Keys, bro. It is such a vibe. It is so much fun. It is so laid back. And finding these local dives is what it's all about. Welcome to the Rusty Anchor. Bro, I would absolutely kick back a few cold ones with the boys at this place. But this is clearly going to be a very common spot, a hot spot of the Keys for us in this game. We actually saw it in the trailer. This is where Cal was ordering shots and everything else. So we're 100% going to spend a lot of time here. And it just, again, this world is lived in. I love this. We've got an older man with a younger woman. We've got a guy passed out up here. Had one too many. 5? Come on, bro. What is this? Got a guy peeing over in the bushes on the backside of the bar. That's pretty cool. We've got people walking in. Look at her tan skin. She has not left the sun since the 60s, but she's walking up. She's waving at these guys over here. These guys are waving back. Like, look at that level of interaction we've got going on. We've got all sorts of people talking, got people drinking. We've got a crab festival coming up soon. We've got this guy over here consoling his buddy. Maybe he just puked or something. Not sure what happened there. It looks like the building is an old repurposed lighthouse. Dude, like the foliage, even the rocks. Like you would find these sharp rocks like this in the Keys. The old Rubbermaid trash can, the hose over here. Like, this truly looks like an image out of the Keys. Like, the level of detail is just insane. We were talking about water activity before with all the boats and the yachts and the things happening on the water. We've also got activity happening underwater. So swimming in GTA 5 was never really necessary. We had a couple of missions and things, and you could do it, but it wasn't great. If it's this nice, we are 100% going to be doing some snorkeling and scuba diving videos. Look at this. We've got a couple of divers, some incredible coral here, all sorts of flora and fauna, and look at all the different types of fish. The sea turtle is absolutely immaculate. You've got an eel swimming by in the background. Like, this looks so good. On water, below the water, everywhere, you're going to have a lot of activities happening, and that's going to take us to our final image here. This is insane. So I saw this in the trailer, and dude, if we have like boat parties and tie-ups and things like that happening just in the world. This is so Miami here, and I can't wait to take part of these float parties. So there's quite a bit happening in this image. Look at all the different shapes and sizes of boats here. We've got like tour boats off in the distance. We've got some cruisers. We've got whatever you would call that thing. That's pretty sleek. We've got a couple of center consoles tied up here. You can see this woman climbing from boat to boat, which is amazing. Look at all the little accessories. You've got dive masks and life jackets and things like that. This is a Lure Predator with a Dinka engine, and it looks like this is the same body boat, but it's got Nagasaki engines on there. So we might be able to customize our boats. Maybe they're going to have like different speeds and performance ratings and things like that. It's definitely the same boat. We've got the same center console here. We've got the same live well back here, but this one has a bimini top. This one doesn't. The level of customization from humans to cars to boats in this game is insane. We've got a guy down here on a pink flamingo float, and that's a shark. Massive shark underneath him. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. Over here in the bottom right, we've got our yacht party. We've got women laying out. We've got beer cans and champagne and stuff all over the place. We've got gator floats. I want to be in this image. I really want to see what's happening in this image. You're going to have all sorts of music playing, the sun shining, the sun, reflecting off the water. It's beautiful. Also, this might be the same causeway that we saw in that first image. So we're inside the bay here. From here, we're going to head north back to the mainland and a little bit west into the Everglades, the real side of Florida, aka the grass rivers here in Leonida. So welcome to the wetlands, the untamable jewel of Leonida's crown. You never know what lies beneath the surface of this primordial expanse. The gators may be the most famous attraction, but there are far deadlier predators and weirder discoveries among the mangroves. Yep, this is going to be an interesting part of town with some very interesting people. So first and foremost here, again, the skin, the dirt, the everything that's happening. Look at the way that the dirt is splotched all over the place. His shorts honestly look fairly clean. His not quite so much. He's got mud all over his boots, mud all over everywhere. She's got mud in her cleavage. Like it's not just like a slight brown tint on them. They've got actual splotches of dirt, which is incredible. We've got a couple of different rifles. This one looks like it's got some sort of a camo pattern on it. So more weapon customization, and you can see, this is a little bit more carbine-like. This is kind of like M14 looking. Again, that's got kind of a camo pattern. We've got different types of sights on here. This one's a little bit more long range. Looks like they took down a bobcat as well as a gator, of course. Very interesting people down here living an interesting life. I'm sure some of them have a heart of gold. I'm sure other ones just really don't want you around. You can see no trespassing violators will be prosecuted, and I don't think they're talking about what the extent of the law. So going to be really interesting to meet these guys and see what they have going on. This is another really impressive image showing off the map, how big it is, how dense it is, etc. So obviously this is going to be Vice City over here with all the skyscrapers and everything. That means the Keys are going to be down this way. I'm pretty sure this is Ambrosia. It's kind of the industrial part of the map. We're going to talk about that here in a second. And it looks like we are here in Watson Bay. So this is going to be kind of like the main town on the outskirts of the Everglades, or the grasslands, I would assume. I think, because you could see there's a lot of residential stuff over here, that the grasslands must be back behind us. Like we've got boats coming in. Looks like guys were fishing, so they're probably coming back from the grasslands and enjoying the comforts of society. So lots of activity here, lots of cars parked and things. Looks like we've got a lobster spot down here, lots of little restaurants and pop-ups along the street there. And then this is kind of like our main attraction. Looks like it's a motel mixed with a bar and grill here, and you've got all sorts of people hanging out, eating, drinking, having a nice time. Old worn down docks with seagulls on them, ducks in the water. Like there's just, it's not quite as nice as what we had in the other parts of the map, but people are still finding a way to have a good time, and there's still a lot going on. I don't like this at all. So we're on an airboat out in the grasslands, and we are being surrounded by gators here. So I think this is telling a story with the next image, but it looks like we've got a couple of guys here. He's got a double-barreled shotgun, and it looks like they're hunting these gators. They must have called them or thrown some sort of food in the water or something like that. But we've got 1, 2, 3, and then we've got a cheeky little fourth one back here, back behind the prop. But very cool spot. You could see this boat's got some stories. We've got old paint and rust and chips and things like that. We've got coolers laid out. It looks like it's being used. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like a generic boat. It looks like this is a purpose-built boat. We've got the buckets that we probably chummed with. We've got our little nets and things like that. The other thing I really want to take a look at here, first of all, is how dark the water is. Like, most of the water in this game looks glorious and beautiful, and the scuba diving shot and everything else. This is terrifying. I don't want to, but I feel like we're gonna have to swim in it for a video, and I'm curious what the sequence of being attacked by an alligator is, and if they do like the death roll and things like that. But imagine jumping in that. Like, no thank you. The other thing is all these lily pads and the moss and everything floating up on top of the water. Look at the way that's disrupted by the gator. And on to our next image here. Are these guys the same? White shirt, dark pants, camo bucket hat, red shirt there. Let's see. It looks, this guy's in overalls, but he does have the bucket hat on. So maybe the same, maybe not the same. I don't think it is technically, but obviously gators are protected. You've got to have, you've got to register and have tags for them and things like that. So if you're doing illegal gator hunting, there are going to be consequences. And you can see here, we've got a police car and a helicopter chasing this truck that's hauling a trailer full of gators through the swamplands. Good luck getting away, bro. Like, there's no, look at the mud and things here. There is no way they're going to end up getting away there. And by the way, pretty sick camo wrap on the truck here. Airboat in the background. Lots of activity happening as well. Some native Florida birds over here. Are these flamingos? That one looks a little bit different, but that one kind of looks a little flamingo-y. We've got some gators here. We've got, is that maybe a beaver running off into the mud? We've got deer off in the grass here. So Vice City is a concrete jungle. It's a metropolis, but we are going to have some nature that we're going to be able to get into. And my favorite nature spot is going to be at the end of this video, so make sure you guys stick around. But yeah, don't hunt gators illegally. I'm wondering if this is going to be a mission in the campaign. Port Gellhorn, live hard. This is Leonida's forgotten coast. Cheap motels, shut down attractions, and empty strip malls won't bring the tourists back. There's a new economy in this once popular vacation spot. It's fueled by malt liquor, painkillers, and truck stop energy drinks. Jump on a dirt bike and hold on to your wallet. So this is going to be the sandy shores of Vice City. Starting with the Starlit Motel. We've seen this in a couple of other, images and trailers and things like that. I think this is going to be a pretty important spot in the story. The motel doesn't look great. Blinds are all disheveled. We've got vines crawling up the side. Your boy needs to hop in here with some Sunset Motel and fix this thing up. But it does look like we've got interiors in there, which is kind of cool. Got a couple of ladies here taking a picture of a stray cat that's rolling up. We've also got a lady here that I don't think she has a top on, so this might be an escort that this guy in the blue Jeep thing is picking up. All in all, just looks like a pretty unpleasant area. And unpleasant areas come with unpleasant people, so these guys look intense. And I'm wondering if we're going to get on the bad side of them. Kind of brings me back to like the GTA farm situation and stuff. So obviously, this is a grow house. You could see like the foil on the walls. You could see the plants, of course. You can even see the reflection of UV light over here in the corner. Both of these guys look super serious. I mean, look at the cuts that this guy has all over him, and the scars, the bullet holes, etc. Baseball bat is his weapon of choice. Maybe that's not the best idea when people are using range against you, bro. But yeah, these guys look like they mean business. I'm hoping we're on the right side of it. Again, this is a forgotten part of Leonida, so the locals are, relying on other ways to make money and make ends meet. We've got a nice bag of pills here. Looks like we've got some sort of a, big black executive SUV in the back. This guy looks to be some sort of a boss. 100% Sandy Shores, dude. This looks exactly like it. Of course, there are locals here. They need some things to do, so we've got some activities. Welcome to Delight's Cabaret. It's a very classy establishment. New girls, new food, open all night, hiring dancers. Look at all the trash down here on the ground. We've got homeless pushing around shopping carts full of bags, and is that a suitcase there? Very interesting, older, kind of beat down vehicles. This thing's kind of cool, I gotta be honest. We've got a drug deal happening out back of the strip club, which is a pretty common occurrence, and some pretty tough looking bouncers. It looks like they've thrown this guy out. Very rough looking neighborhood. This is what I'm talking about, baby. This is red-blooded America right here. This looks like a good time. I gotta be honest, the boat parties look nice. This is probably a lot more fun. I was really excited when I saw these like backwoods mud parties in the original trailer, but a lot happening here, lot to unpack. So let's start over on the left. We've got some people in a truck bed talking. That's fine, not that exciting. This guy right here is having the best night of everyone. Leaned up against the old Ford, looks like an old Ford Ranger or something. He's got his girl here shushing him, and those hands, those fingers are getting a little bit wandery, so we'll have to wait and see where those things go. Now, over on the right here, looks like this is kind of like a big pallet party. We're burning pallets. We've got a cooler full of beers and old cans and bottles and stuff strewn everywhere. We've got people having nice times. There's even like a little bit of distortion happening here from the flames. Like, look at that. You're looking through the fire, through the heat that's escaping, and it's distorting her body. The level of detail there is just insane. And last but not least, I believe this is all of our redneck crushes right here. I think this is Miss American Girl from that first trailer. Ambrosia. We saw a little snippet of this from the high up grasslands image. This is the industrial part of the map. So keeping Leonida sweet. The battle for the health and wealth of Leonida begins here. In the heart of Leonida, American industry and old school values still reign supreme, whatever the cost. The allied Crystal Sugar Refinery provides the jobs, while the local biker gang provides almost everything else. So an allied Crystal Sugar Refinery, I don't think that's the only type of crystal that's being refined here. The biker gang kind of points to that as well. So we've got the final chapter motorcycle club here. Lots of, I was gonna say diversity. There's lots of the same guy on the bike, but there are lots of different bikes here. You can see we've got some choppers, we've got some more street looking bikes. Most of them are chopper-esque, but there's definitely, you know, quite a bit of variety there. You can also see some of the license plate customization on the bikes here. So we've got multiple different styles of plates. The Ambrosia County Sheriff's Office is up ahead. I don't think that's where these guys are going. They're passing by some political signs here. So vote Aaron Henshaw. It looks like this might be some sort of a voting center. Aaron Henshaw there, kind of like a campaign office or something over on the right side of the image, so we could get some political things happening. And I think my favorite part of this image is going to be this billboard that we have up here. So it looks like it's a local sweet company, Tiny Frank, proud allies of diversity and treats. So dude, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see all the different billboards and posters and signs and, you know, the segments on the radios and things like that. Rockstar, please never change. Not a lot to see here, but just really a mucky city. Really don't like this place. Not thinking we're going to spend too much time here, but we'll see. There is a lot of money to be made in places like this. You can see these are kind of the outskirts of the grasslands. We've got airboats coming in, so that kind of confirms the location and stuff. This is going to be next to the grasslands, the Everglades. American flag painted buildings, lots of smokestacks and things. Just really a very grimy, dirty, grungy place. Here we've got one of the final chapter members up close, and man, he does look glorious, dude. Look at this beard. Look at that stash. Look at that, the way it comes down and curls. He's been working on that thing for a while, and he and his broad look like they mean business here. So she's got a heavy revolver. He's got a rank of enforcer. And then also up here, Liberty City Cycles. So that's pretty cool. Some ties back to Liberty City. Very excited for that. We've actually seen a couple of Liberty City license plates. Looks like we're at some sort of a warehouse situation. I think there's going to be a lot of warehouses, moving goods, things like that in this area. Got his bike in the background. Not really a lot to look at here. Dude, her tattoos are insane. Those are pills that have like ant legs. This place and these people are going to be weird. Truly the heart of Leonida out here. We can have some farmland alongside all the industry and warehouses and stuff. Looks like we've got wildfire or controlled burn. It doesn't really look that controlled, but could be. It does look like we've got a biplane over here coming in to take care of it. I take it back. I'm moving here. This is great. We've got car washes. You definitely want to keep your car clean. Now, speaking of the car, let's take a look at the car first. Again, just the level of detail. Look at the carbon fiber on here. This has to be a pretty nice car, huh? You've got carbon fiber inserts. You've got the red stripe on top of the steering wheel. So this is going to be some sort of a sports car. You've got Apple CarPlay, a full-on touchscreen over here. The interiors of the cars just look so much better, dude. Look at the soap bubbles on the windshields. I mean, it is just absolutely insane how realistic the soap looks. Pay and spray, never heard of it. Just get your car washed. So last but not least, we are going to be headed to Mount Kalaga National Park, and this is probably the area I'm most excited for. Wild, wild country. Room to breathe on the state's northern fringes. So we have been talking about how we see the Gloriana license plates and stuff. Georgia has mountainous region. Florida has some hilly regions, but it's mostly super flat. So I think they're kind of taking Georgia and bringing it down. It's going to be on the northern edge of the map, and Mount Kalaga could basically be in Georgia. We'll see. A national landmark up against the state's northern border, Mount Kalaga offers prime hunting, fishing, and off-road trails. And the lush surrounding backwoods, hillbilly mystics and paranoid radicals live far from the prying eyes of the government. So this is going to be a very beautiful place. I also think it's going to be a little bit terrifying because you're going to have like mountain people, Appalachia people out here, maybe some, you know, crazy cannibals and people that have been removed from society for a really long time. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. So first up, looks like you can have some fun out here. This looks to be some sort of an old refinery of some sort, factory. It's been turned into bike trails here. So this looks sick. My goodness, dude, look at all the mud that's being sprayed up here. Like the dirtiness level is insane in this game. From the people to the cars, the van that we saw now on these bikes. Look at the way you can kind of see the original livery of the bike and the number and stuff down here, but you've got the mud spraying up. I'm sure the more you ride, the more muddy it's gonna get. We've got a raccoon running off, and it looks like we might potentially have some sort of an accident about to happen. Next up, we've got a Weasel News chopper. So Weasel News is gonna be coming back, and man, this is a beautiful image. You can't see a lot, but look, like I'm just thinking of like the mountains and stuff in Red Dead 2. Look at, like, you know, we've got open rock faces and things. Look at all the density of the trees and the foliage on the mountains. Like that, it's just the rolling hills off of the distance. That's insane. The level of detail on this helicopter. Look at like the rotor pieces and stuff. Like you didn't see that in GTA 5. Like everything is just so much better. Got a pilot in here, got a cameraman. He's got a crazy rig, shoulder mounted camera rig. So something pretty big going down here, and they're going to be covering it the right way. Next up, we've got a couple of hunters. Looks like they took down a buck here. And again, just look at the density of everything. When you're in the city, we're talking about the density of the buildings and the pools and the activities and the people and everything happening. Look at the density out here. This puts Red Dead 2 to shame. Look at all the thick grass and the firs and the trees, and it looks so incredible. Got a couple of hunters here with some bolt action rifles. We've got a squirrel on the tree over here. Again, I'm a little bit nervous as to who you're going to run into out here. You're going to find some crazies. I talked about that one image in Vice City being one of my favorites. This is my second, if not my actual favorite. Like, this is incredible. It really shows the verticality that we're going to have in this map. And I'm just envisioning a canyon driving through here. Like, imagine buying your first nice sports car and turning the radio on and just going for little canyon runs through here. Like it is so beautiful. And I'm really glad that we don't just have flat, boring Florida in this map. This could be the final chapter. Biker gang coming through here, mobbing through the canyons on their motorcycles. That sounds like a lot of fun. Looks like, I mean, it's a long train here. Looks like we've got cars getting out of the way, people pulling over. Obviously don't want to mess with these guys. This construction truck right here, imagine you crash into that and all the concrete pipes roll off and go everywhere. Looks like we've got some sort of a railway going across over here. We've got some bobcats or panthers off on the side. Looks like we've got some deer in a clearing on the other side of the pass. So looks like he could be maybe trying to make his way over there. Good luck to them. But dude, it's just like this. We've got so much variety, and the locations and the feeling of the locations in this map. I'm so excited. I'm wondering if this is the same panther that's been tracking these deer here. But this image is just unreal, man. We've got deer taking a rest, getting a drink. He's trying to find his meal. We've got, I mean, look at the ray traced reflections in this water. Look at the leaves that, like, some are floating, some are half in, some are half out. Look at his fur. He's got wet fur on the bottom of his coat because he's been, you know, tracking them through this river. We've got dense foliage, trees that are leaning over the river. It's just, this game is so beautiful. Last but not least, we've got our final image of a kayaker enjoying this national park, which sounds amazing, bro. I'm 100% just going to get my kayak and go paddle around out here. But yeah, so we've got a Crest kayak here. Just looks insane. The life jacket on, the water splashing around. Not only the splash above the water, but look at the ripples that are happening. Look at the reflections. You can see the entire reflection of him, of the train bridge up here that has a train coming across it. So very excited that we've got a train in this game. We've got a flood gauge over on the side, which you can see based on the rust. It looks like the water does kind of move around a bit. I'm curious if we're going to have varied weather situations and flooding. Obviously, that's a huge deal in Florida, especially in Miami. So We saw references to hurricanes and stuff in the trailer. I'm curious if we might have like real-time weather events that can change the course of the map, and think about like the live events in Fortnite and stuff. Are we going to have like huge map changing events? Could be kind of cool. And then the last thing I wanted to point out is there's some sort of a cabin up here, which again reinforces that like this is going to be out in the boonies. You are in Appalachia. You are amongst the mountain people. This is not a place that you want to be caught out like at night or caught out alone. And so very curious to see what kind of activities get going here. But there you guys have it. A very detailed breakdown of these images. There's just so much to unpack, so much to uncover. If I missed anything, feel free to leave it down in the comments. And thank you guys so much for enjoying. Really appreciate you guys. I know all this stuff came out a few days ago, but honestly, I'm more doing this for myself than anything else. I just figured I'd make a video of it because I'm just so excited for this game. So I think we are going to do one more breakdown of the trailer. Be on the lookout for that in the next day or two. We're actually going to take our time. I have found so much stuff in it. I've seen so many posts on Reddit and everywhere else. So very excited to talk about it with you guys. I'll see you all there. Peace out.